Action.
Action. What's
Go.
up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in again to the KTB podcast. And today's episode is our not a follow up on the last one, but it is the second Brawl Stars one that we can get out to you guys. I'm here joined by Krong and Sea Smoke.
I am Krong, and I do not make the titles. So if this title is dog shit, which it probably will be, that's all Buzzy's fault.
I
Wow.
am Sea Smoke, and I also don't make the titles, so it's also not my fault.
I think it's probably Goofy's fault.
Yeah,
We'll
'cause
just
he's the only one not here.
So
All
it
of us
must it
here.
must be his fault.
Yeah, he can't
scapegoating.
defend himself, but it is his fault.
I mean, yeah. So either or, got that shit out of the way, and we are very seasoned Brawl Stars players at that. We actually use spice on our food, and it's not shit either. It's not just picked up from like the back of a fucking Walmart aisle, uh, with fucking dust covered in it. We actually know what we're talking about.
Okay. On that note, though, the fucking Walmart rotisserie chicken is kind of fucking sick, though.
I can't hate. I can't hate this for sure. That's definitely been copped a couple times in my household. Um, Either or, I think what we're gonna do today is just talk about the state of the game as is. Just give a couple ideas on how we feel the game should progress, what direction it should go in, even though we know they won't listen to us. And from just the community standpoint, what could be better? And then obviously talk about some things that we have found out, which I actually want to start that off. I just got a tip from an anonymous source that there was a Twitch stream yesterday that it lasted about an hour, and I was unaware that there's a specific guy who's like the head of balance changes in this game. And I didn't know, I thought it was like a whole department. I didn't know there was like a boss of it. And this guy's clearly like public figure. Like he he opts to join a stream if you have 50K followers plus on Twitch. Every 3 months he will join a stream and he will talk to that one lucky streamer about balance changes live and where his thoughts are, what he's done and this and that and what he intends to do. So the most controversial thing about all of that is turns out Brawl Stars was a little out of pocket after some advertising expenses that were way more than they thought they would be. And Krong has a rumor as to why that happened. But apparently, Eve was released absolutely shattered on purpose in order to bring revenue back to the game because they were a little dry. So they released an extremely broken brawler intentionally so that people would spend money to get her quick.
Yes.
So I think that's disgusting. I would never be at a point as a game developer or this or that where it would be like, you know, you gotta like release something that's just absolutely unfathomably good or broken so that we can recover the game. I would it's beyond me. But the advertising expense, I'll give that to Krong. He has a theory.
Okay, so yeah, through our insider source, I don't think Sea Smoke, you didn't know about this, right?
I've heard nothing about this.
Yes,
No, I don't
this
know
is Sea
anything.
Smoke's first time hearing about this, and he's obviously going to give his opinion. But I have a theory on this whole, Eve thing, and it all stems from Mr. fucking Beast. Okay, that Mr. Beast fucking ad in no, that Brawl Stars ad in Mr. Beast video was a lot of fucking money for Brawl Stars. Okay, it exceeded 2 million. I'm pretty sure, either 2 to 4 million. I don't know, but at the very least, $2 million was given out to Mr. Beast and all the contestants, the production and whatnot. And 2 million is no small amount of money. And you know what they got for that 2 million? They got fucking They got a fucking ad that Mr. Beast does, like, like in every one of his other fucking videos, even though it's his biggest ad, he doesn't really even talk about the game. He's just like, yeah, download the game. What do you think about the game? I think it's kind of cool. What do you think about the game? And it's all right. Download the game. And that's all that basically happened. Then they moved on. And I think Brawl Stars, the fucking executives, their jaws dropped when they found out that's all they fucking got. And yeah, immediately after they went to the fucking workshop, went to the drawing board and crafted up the fucking worst, most toxic concoction of fucking brawler. That is Eve. Um, that is my theory. They did not make the return on investment from the Mr. Beast ad, and they like, fuck, we have to do something. So you know what they did? They ruined the state of their game to make a couple bucks to revive their fucking their fucking assets off that blunder that is a Mr. Beast ad.
Yeah, he pasted their fucking logo on a big fucking glass ball, and that's about all he did. And I actually saw that at like the one level or stage of Squid Game, whatever, where it was like they're going across the bridge. I saw a YouTube short of in the actual show where like it was all the VIPs or whatever, all the gold,
Wasn't
antler.
those Mr. Not Mr. Beast, fucking Kairos Time and Lex?
Yeah, they were all there, and they had a bunch of Brawl Stars plushies lined up to make it look like they were the VIPs, and they didn't even make the video. Uh,
It
like it
didn't
was
make
like
the video.
no, it didn't make the video. It was a fully well done like clip and short, and even like Kairos and Lex and all these guys were there at the event, and none of them made the video. However, Kairos and Lex got to be two of the whatever they call them, like the guys with like the triangle faces and shit, like the people who actually
Yeah,
run
yeah.
it. But that's not showing their faces. That's not like helping in any way. And they even lined up the whole VIP area where all the rich people would be wearing the antlers on their face and shit. And that was like that would have been a huge moment having those fucking plushies there lined up because it would have been Brawl Stars, Brawl Stars, Brawl Stars. But he didn't include it in the final cut. So they got scammed. But like, yo, C-Smoke, what you think about this shit?
That's crazy. Honestly, that got me cracked up laughing. Like, how could they even do that? That's crazy. And also, like you said, they needed to make quick money. I mean, that also comes together why they're adding like all these cosmetics that are way overpriced and
Oh,
unbalanced brawlers. Yeah, it all adds up.
true. So
Yeah,
they must have made like pure like fucking percent, like a percent of a percent off of that Mr. Beast shit. And that's why we're getting sprays that are 80 gems or $3 and profile icons that cost gems. All this shit. It all stems back from months ago from that Mr. Beast shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and apparently the you talk in a second, but I just found out that the Fang brawler, like the one that was actually came out after that, or actually was to release after that, he's out now, but he wasn't intentionally supposed to be broken. That was apparently a complete accident. They tried to release him purely balanced and failed miserably.
That's
Uh,
yeah, that's and apparently the balancing is again this one guy, Adrian is his name.
yeah, something like that, I
Yeah,
think.
Adrian is this one guy, and from the sources, he is the only guy who balances. He doesn't have like
okay,
a
okay.
second person. He just has one guy.
That just seems like a problem to me because quite clearly one person is not doing a good job with the balancing as it is. Like
You know, but
they
yeah. Go, excuse me.
they should have a whole team on this. It shouldn't just be like one person. That
Yeah,
just seems stupid to me.
I know that Supercell is like the whole thing is having like not a lot of people work on their games, right? Like they have a handful of people that make their games, every year they might add a couple as the game gets bigger, but they stick to that little office size, size of people. But with this guy just being one guy, and there's a problem when after all these years, this one guy uh doesn't buff fucking Penny. And after all these
Uh,
years, he doesn't have someone tapping his shoulder. Sir Adrian, Master Adrian, maybe, we should buff Penny this one time. He doesn't have that guy. So he's just thinking, oh, I'm such a fucking god. I'm the best balancer there ever fucking was while he's pressing all his fucking buttons on his computer, changing Fang to be the most broken and making Penny just, Penny, who's just been shafted for all these fucking years at this point. I don't know what the
Th-
fuck
th-
on, but fucking
this guy
get him
must
a
have
team.
got he must have got like shit on by a Penny at some point that he just doesn't buff Penny.
He doesn't buff Penny, buff Squeak, he can buff fucking Leon, buff fucking all these fucking brawlers, buff Surge out the fucking tits. Oh, Surge is bad. Oh yeah, let's make him good. Oh, Mr. P's bad. Oh, let's make him good. Penny? Who the fuck is Penny? Fuck a Penny.
but Penny's actually like simple but unique at the same time. And there's actually a lot of strategy to her, even though it doesn't feel like there would be. A lot of it is just about control and moving your mortar up the map progressively, not putting one mortar down and just letting it stay there until they kill it. Like sometimes it's actually worth it to move up your mortar like 5 to 10 tiles and place it there. Uh, it's all about controlling a small to medium portion of the map, and they just do not like buffing her. And it's like her other half is Jessie, pretty much. So they buffed Jessie like fucking crazy. They reworked her like 3 times, like Brock, and they just could not get enough of like trying to make Jessie work. But why do you hate Penny so much? Like Jessie's a fucking trophy road brawler. Penny's super rare, and you're giving her away for free in the fucking new 15-day reward thing. Like, shouldn't you actually have Penny feel fair? Because I know that Daryl's, I'd say Daryl's all right. I don't think they need to touch Daryl anymore.
Daryl's balanced, yeah.
And Edgar's, he's balanced debatably. I might buff his second star power, but that's about it. And he's interesting to balance because he's meant to be played a specific way. And it's all up close and personal. It's all up to the person playing it if you're able to actually get up close and personal with people. So it has to be rewarding when you can pull it off. And then Griff is the other one in there, and he obviously needs a nerf to his super. I just don't know why they keep pushing that to the side.
Okay. Why do you think he needs a nerf to his super? I know it's good. It is really good, but why does it need a nerf? Because you play fucking Buzz? That's why?
No, it's because not only can you chain his super like fucking crazy, the amount of area control that thing has, and the fact that it stays there, like the cards linger in the max
In the
range.
air, and then it goes back, yeah.
Yeah, for like 3 seconds, and then maybe not three, maybe like 2 seconds, and then it goes back. But it's also the fact that it's just the monstrosity of damage that thing deals for no reason. Like they buffed his attack, which now that I'm seeing it, I guess that's okay. I don't really think he ever needed that, but I guess it's okay. But his super needs a nerf, either like sizable too, like either tweak with the charge rate, tweak with the fact that the cards linger for too long, maybe make them linger less, and or tweak altogether, tweak with the damage itself, nerf it by like fucking 300 to 500 damage total. It does not need to do. But Griff is very interesting, and I love him a lot. I just don't like that he doesn't feel right. But Penny doesn't feel like she fits at all in that entire 15-day reward thing because she is just terrible. And like, you might as well pick Daryl. Like, I don't know why you would pick Penny at that point. Unless like, well, I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about that, but just in general, the point is we now know that there's a dude, Adrian, whoever, that is in charge of pushing balances through this game. And I mean, frankly, it takes him a lot of tries to get some right, if he even gets it right at all. Like, he's the same guy who's okayed Crow's gadget being the only gadget in the game to slow a brawler for 5 seconds. Multiple brawlers for 5 seconds instead of 3, which are all the other slows in the entire fucking game. And that alone.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? This guy wanted to outdo himself, and he made a slow that lasts for a whole 20 seconds in that fucking squeak gadget. And he just wanted to fucking leave it like that, but then people complain, and it's like, oh, I guess I can't get away with fucking murder. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut it in half to 10 seconds.
Yeah, which is still ridiculous. But at least that's in one spot. Okay, Crow can get you anywhere, and multiple people anywhere, and just keep ticking you with the poison. Crow can do all 3 of his gadgets on one brawler before it even wears off for every gadget, because the gadget recharge rate is like 3 seconds. You get it back. So he can just harass a tank that can't do anything. I couldn't imagine being a Frank versus him at the end of a game or something. This dude has all 3 of his slows left. Like, you lose. All he has to do is like walk around like a wall that's one tile, and there's nothing you can do about it. But this dude, like, I don't want to straight up harass the man, but like, you have to have people that have some sort of influence on these decisions as well. Like, I get that you are probably the most qualified, and I'm not going to say that you haven't created, masterpieces of brawlers and gadgets and star powers up to date, but there are just a lot of things, bad that outweigh the good here. And like you need to have some other influence. You may not want to take from us. You know, we may be a little PG-13, but
We're not PG fucking 13. No.
uh, but you got to get past all of the derogatory words, and you'll actually listen and hear, like, or even witness the fucking gold nuggets that lie within our words. So we know what we're talking about. You know where to go, Adrian. We don't need 50K followers on Twitch. You come fuck with us. We're right here. We ain't gonna harass you when you're here either. We just gonna ask you, what are you doing, man? But that's as straight up as possible. You know, Sea Smoke, I need you to dig in here.
So, there just needs to be a team of people working with balance. It's not something one person can just get right. It's like you need multiple inputs because everyone's gonna have like a different experience with it, and one person isn't gonna be able to like know all. Like I could go a couple months and only play like a brawler once just to get that one trophy for trophy reset. Like I wouldn't know that balance in that interaction. Like you need multiple people who are play testing and just know what's going on.
And most importantly, listen to the fucking community, because when you're not playing your fucking game, which I don't think Adrian is, clearly, you need other people to tell you how to do your job, basically. And if that was the fucking case, if he even just did that and listened, then you know what? Okay, then you can fucking work solo, if as long as you're taking in these other opinions. But no, you want to work by yourself. You want to keep making this game, more pay to win, more shit, then you go right the fuck ahead.
Just it's immoral in my opinion, especially just going back to the whole Eve situation. You know, releasing a brawler on purpose to break the game. I just can't see how. Like, I understand that it probably did its job, but you can't let yourself get to a situation where that's what you got to do. And I guess they took a big risk, uh, and it didn't pay off whatsoever. You know, Mr. Beast definitely snuffed them a lot, and it was a shame to see. You know, it was really exciting when we found out as a community, like, holy shit, Brawl Stars is going to be involved with this. You know, everybody and their fucking parents knew that when this Mr. Beast video dropped, it was going to be the biggest video like ever. Everybody saw it. It was like, there is no fucking way this dude's doing this. Uh, so, you know, it is what it is. They got snuffed. So it just shouldn't, you know, they shouldn't take that out on the community. They should just, you know, they have to hold that. That's the L that they have to hold. But they
Yeah,
didn't want
that's
to.
100% true. We shouldn't have to pay, well, both literally and figuratively, for their mistake. Because obviously Eve, being as broken as she is, you'd want to, play Eve, get those easy trophies, shit on people on fucking solos, or, fucking, single queue, whatever the fuck. Um, but like, we shouldn't, that's their mistake. They should just, like, okay, we took the fucking L, let's think of how we don't do that and we don't work with Mr. Beast anymore. Now make a brawler that's absolutely busted. And then, yeah, they even said they have every intention to nerf her to the ground, like, after they made her money, or made their money. So yeah, it's just sleazy.
Very, very.
I also want to bring up like the map pool that got released into the game when they added Eve did not help their case at all. Like the most of the maps were just really bad. A lot of them had water to make Eve even more busted than she already was. And it just was not a good time.
We're not going to act like we didn't notice that. Like, I get that that would make the most sense to add some, you know, more watery maps when they release a brawler like that. But now that we know that why the intention they released the or Eve under, like what the intentions were, like that just feels really, really forced and just, you know, especially in Club League, it was just a disaster. If you could get Eve whatsoever, especially since it was only one ban back then, and some people might be too stupid to ban Eve, uh, the game's over. Like you already lose, and it doesn't matter what power level Eve was. Pretty much, like you could even lose to a level 4 to level 7 Eve just because of how amazing she was. And they still haven't done enough. Like all these intentions on nerfing her, they just flicked her. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so the day that you see Eve in a balanced state is the day that they made all their money back from people trying to get Eve. Okay, that's how it's gonna work.
yeah, and that's just uncomfortable. But As the new brawlers go, I guess Jeanette and Eve or Jeanette and Bonnie. Um, obviously Jeanette can be a problem. I feel like she's definitely not at the same level of broken as Eve was, or maybe still is, but she feels like she could be a lot easier to balance. She has the same shot as Poco, which makes it really annoying to dodge sometimes, especially when she can like clip you through walls. Obviously, it's a little or a lot thinner, but it's the same concept as Poco. And when she carries gems and gem grab, you want her as the gem carrier because she could get all 10 of them and just fly around and you can't touch her for 7 seconds. Uh, and that could literally run the countdown out or replace or put her wherever she wants to go on the map. And it's just like a lot of game modes she's going to thrive in and be better than the, average brawler, literally any brawler, or Eve. Then there's Bonnie who feels like, obviously like six different brawlers in one. I do like how they made it so that she can get gadgets based on both forms that she has. Um, and it makes it feel a lot more like you have to choose, like, are you with the, Bonnie form or the Clyde form? And I like how they did that as well, obviously. But um, I think it's very interesting. Bonnie's taking her time to get released. I think it's going to be the end of May, but I don't mind either of them. I think Bonnie's going to be better than Janet, but I'm just interested to see. None of them scream like they're going to break the game to me, though.
I kind of think Bonnie could break the game in her Bonnie form because it's just fucking 3,000 damage per shot and it splashes. Like I just don't see how that has to get nerfed. Like that is just so fucking good. What is her gadget again, by the way? She can jump,
Uh,
right? Like dash a little.
she has two gadgets, but I guess if you want to talk about the Bonnie form one, that's the one where they brought back Stu's old super where you can bump them and it does a little bit of damage too. Uh, so it's like it's almost a stun, but you can like reposition them like a tile. And it kind of like it takes away their super too, like shit like that. Like
Oh.
not drains their super. Let's say Rico has just started shooting his super and he only got one pellet out. You bump him with that and his whole super's gone to waste. And I think that I'm probably going to end up using that one.
Yeah. I could just see her being a fucking menace in Brawl Ball, especially like you can use her in any fucking map. Like literally any fucking map. If it's fucking short range, like what the fuck is that one? God, I haven't played Brawl in so long. But the one where there's fucking a bunch of grass in the middle, then it, not toward the spawns.
What? Hey, hold on. What mode?
Brawl Ball.
Brawl ball, grass in the middle, sneaky fields.
That you you can be in sneaky fields, and you're probably gonna be in fucking Bonnie form a whole fuck ton. And you could also be in that one, backyard brawl
Bull.
bowl, backyard bowl, and you can just be in that fucking Clyde form. And the Clyde gadget is
It's where the reload speed is just fast as
oh
shit.
yeah, that's fucking crazy, yo. And guess what? You want to maybe close in on a fucking enemy brawler, you want to make a quick fucking goal or some shit. You can super boom onto the fucking ball and you can use your fucking dash and no, it doesn't matter. You can use her in any fucking map basically.
Yeah, I think Bonnie's going to be a problem, but the only reason why I don't think she's going to be game breaking is because I think that it's going to be like too much pressure for them to like nerf her or tweak her because of how unfair she's. Like you're going to see people get her to like 2,000 trophies within like the first week. Uh, and just because of how challenging it can be to deal with her because there's not a weakness. She doesn't really have one. Um, and Eve's a different story because she could go on water. Jeanette can go in the air, but at least they technically have weaknesses. Whereas I guess Bonnie doesn't feel like she really has one, other than range in her Bonnie form. Then you can make up with that by not only switching back to the Clyde form and healing at the same time, but now
Oh
being able
yeah.
to test people with range, like 10 tiles away from you. Like it's not a joke range either. Um, she's just going to be a monstrosity, and I am a little afraid. I guess my opinion has changed a little bit now that we've talked about her. I haven't even brought her up in conversation in a couple weeks, but she's going to be an issue, and I think they might give her away in a challenge because she's going to be epic. And the last couple epic brawlers they've done have been challenged. That was Grom and Griff were the last two, and they were both in challenges.
True. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I forgot about that.
we'll see what happens. As per now that we've like actually been playing the game for I guess 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the balance changes that they just did, are there any of them that actually like stand out to you guys? Like they
The
did
challenges?
no the balance changes that the last balance change patch they did.
Oh, well, okay. Well, BB is kind of a she's not in her she's in her annoying stage. If you play Brawl Stars for its duration, you know that BB has had a couple of annoying stages, and this is one of them where she has a fuck ton of health and she could just roll up, fucking whack you away, and then get away, and she's basically fucking full HP. You feel like, and especially on certain maps, I just
Yeah.
feel like she's a bit oppressive and annoying.
I have seen a lot of BB in Brawl Ball recently.
She's just tremendous, to be honest. I was told that that health buff wasn't going to do much. It was the damage that was really going to count, but I feel like the health has been more annoying than the damage. And the damage buff was more significant, well, on paper. But like that health buff, you don't kill her, and it really synergizes with her first gadget. Like she's staying alive. I had a really, really annoying club league game in Heist where BB shouldn't have been good, but it was just the fact that we couldn't get rid of her. And that ended up being our downfall in both games, was just that BB was carrying the team, not even by doing a lot of the damage. It was just the fact that she was always a threat. She was always there, just looming. Like if you get any close to her, she's gonna whack you away. And when she's hugging a wall, especially since we didn't have any throwers, but if you looked at the map we were playing on, they didn't have any throwers either, so it felt like it was gonna be a lot more fair. But it was just we couldn't contest her, and that's the one that's definitely stood out the most to me. I guess that's always the first one we brought up. But do you guys have any other ones?
Wait, I got a question though. Was she using the shield gadget, the shield star power?
Yes, indeed, she was.
Okay, then yeah, that's fucking unkillable. And if you don't have like a stun dynamite gadget, or a Colette, then I don't know how the fuck you deal with that.
You don't. And it was just honestly a disaster. I was playing Daryl because I was trying to like hard counter her, and I couldn't get rid of her. Daryl does big damage, and that was really concerning to me. Either or, I think there were some other ones that found its way into the game, but I don't know if any of them were as significant or felt as
I
significant.
guess the Byron one. I play a fair bit of Byron, and you could definitely feel you not getting your super as often. It feels a lot more balanced though. I feel like Byron, when you play with him or against him, he has a super up like almost all the time, and that's just because he can hit his shots really easily. He obviously has long range, really fast projectile, and I think this is a good change though. I think he's still probably like the same rank in terms of the brawlers, but he just feels more fair to play against.
I think
I
it's
don't know. I haven't really noticed much of a difference in playing Byron.
it feels right. It was definitely a long overdue change, but you were getting your super way too often. 3 hits instead of 4. I'm glad that they dialed that back because Byron's can be a very, very oppressive threat, especially in the hands of the right person and the right composition. So I'm happy that that's not going to be as annoying, but I feel like it really won't change much, as in like
Yeah.
Byron's viability.
He's still very good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like completely push to the side Eve nerfs. Those were not nerfs. They tickled her.
I don't even know what the fuck happened. I don't think they touched her second star power.
No, not even. Like they
First?
know that that's the big issue, but they don't want to touch it.
They need to
Well, now,
remove it. They need to change it. It's not
yeah,
fucking right.
now we know why.
Yeah,
I
now we
would
know why.
suggest like one of those bars that has to charge up, like that works well for so
Like
many
Mr.
other
P's.
star powers.
Yeah.
They did that for Mortis, they did that for Mr. P, they did that for Sprout, and it worked really well. I don't know why they didn't think of that.
No, we know why they didn't think of that now. I'm not even gonna be able to look at Eve the same and be like, yeah, that must be an accidental thing that happened here. They knew what they were doing. They're like, you know what? How can we screw people over? Like that's just a gadget that is just it's a train wreck of a gadget because it just forces out an ammo, and especially the people who charge slow and like Mortis, for example, has to like hit you like with himself to fucking get rid of those things or do damage in general. Like it's just a disaster, and they knew what they were doing, making her shots so fast and wide that you can't really avoid it, and um making it so well, I think that the actual nerf to her was her range got nerfed by like half a tile. It was something so pathetic, like that I was like, why is this even like allowed? And then there was a very slight damage nerf. See, the damage nerf, I actually have been able to notice that a little bit, but it still doesn't make that much of a difference when her second star power is active and stuff.
Yeah,
So
she's still like as oppressive. There's still a bunch of fucking those babies just coming at you, and like you can't do it. That's the main problem. Um, she does what Mr. P does, like what Mr. P is designed to do. That's his whole thing, right? Eve dials that shit to the 11th fucking degree, and maybe I have a soft spot for that because I love Mr. P, but Eve is just Mr. P on crack on PCP, and needs to get fucking rehab.
as soon as possible. I think Fang also got tickled as well. It was definitely a couple changes, but it still didn't address the fact that his stun lasts way too long. It basically
They nerfed the
secures,
stun, right?
Yeah, they
uh,
did.
but it
To like
still
45
secures
seconds.
you in the hands of a good player. Secures you 2 clean hits with Fang that do like 4,000 plus damage to you that you can't avoid. Plus stacking it with the damage gear, for example, or on like it's just too much. And the fact that his super does like the amount of damage it does, they need to dial that back a lot. And it feels like it's just way too much damage, especially since he can chain his super so easily. Uh, and like or chain through people so easily as well. It's just way too much damage, and they definitely need to tweak him. But I guess it makes me a little happier knowing that that wasn't technically on purpose. But he's still too good. But he is at a point where you don't actually have to ban him. Like he's beatable now. Whereas before he didn't feel like he was, but now you can beat him, but he still has the odds in his favor, 60-40 at least. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, Fang is just good all around. Both of his gadgets are great. I think the second gadget is so good that people start to forget that the first gadget is still very, very good. Uh, just because in comparison, the stun's probably the better one to use. But throwing out all that popcorn down with like 500 damage on like fucking 30 of them, and all the area control that brings, plus they like all set off within like 3 seconds. It's a lot to deal with. Um, I'm not a big fan of Fang, but I definitely could have some plays with him that are like, holy shit, I just made that play. But I think that was the entire purpose behind him. Um, I don't know. Do you guys think that made that much of a difference? Because I really don't.
Nah,
I
no.
haven't really played much Fang since the update. I really didn't play him very much before then, but I did notice that before they changed, the games are just way too easy, and it definitely did need to be nerfed in some way.
Yeah. And then there is because like we're
Wait,
only
wait.
gonna list the ones that are
But
significant.
yeah, but before we get
Us,
into anything else, how do you guys feel about Surge after
Oh, him.
the
Um,
the change? Pretty
I will
big
say,
change.
I want to say first of all, I versed a gold surge today for the first time. Although we did beat him, it looked really cool.
That's
Uh,
like finding a shiny Pokemon. God.
yeah, I've never seen one before, so I can't wait till they say the same about my gold buzz. But either
Uh,
or, um, Surge in general, he's just I gotta stand up for this one. You guys should probably give a piece before I do because I have a lot to say.
you want to go see smoke?
sure. Well, obviously, before the nerf, where his gadget gave him his new gadget that made his level up go up by 2 and gave him the range immediately. That I really liked playing that, but it was definitely way too strong because once you get that first super and you're using the star power that you just stay on stage 2 for the rest of the game, there's nothing you can do to stop Surge. And he just has his range immediately all the time because if you kill him, he just pops the gadget, he has his range, he charges up his super, and then he gets the range from the super anyway, so there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that made Surge like I don't know, kind of balanced was the fact that it was hard for him to get from level 1 to level 2 because he's so shit. He's slow and he has not good range, good damage, obviously. But, you know, if you're playing anything besides like a short range map, he's struggling to get that first thing. After you get it, you know, now you're playing actual Surge, the Surge you want to play. But yeah, with the gadget, it kind of takes away the prep phase, as you will, and you know he just goes to being the Surge that you want to play, that you know everyone's scared of. And I think that is the better gadget, and I think that he is really good with the new fucking super. It's not a new super, but you know you can jump over shit, and it's you got that on a fucking cooldown. You fucking hit someone 1-2 shots, you can jump again. You don't have to wait for the cooldown. You don't have 3 times to use it with your other gadget. You know the teleportation. It's really good. What do you guys think? Oh, Buzzy, you go first.
Okay, so his second gadget's definitely getting outshadowed or overshadowed, whatever the term is, because of how good the first one is, how quick and easy it is for you to level up. I think the second gadget is also very, very good as well, but I think that they just need to tweak it where you get 2 ammo back, like Colt's whatever reload thing. And or I think it's like speed loader, I believe is what it's called, where you get 2 ammo back right away because 3 ammo is just too devastating, especially with Surge, and his shot output is very, very fast, so you can spam the shots. But I will say that now that they've made this rework to him and how easy it is to hit his super on people, they need to nerf the damage. Before it wasn't a problem because it was directly under you and you'd have to like really, play good for that to hit. But now it feels like it's too free sometimes to hit a clean like upwards of like 1740, I believe, to like 2000 plus damage with the damage gear, let alone having any cubes in showdown. So just they need to dial that back a lot. It cannot match his attack anymore.
The I think that's pretty, maybe even on par to what I was about to offer. I was thinking that you make it go from 3 shots to 4 with this shots for the supercharge. And I don't know if that'll fucking kill him or make him balance, because obviously with that gadget you can get it a lot more fucking easy, right? And then you fucking chain on your supers. It's just a lot easier. And I think it'll make it so he's not having a super 24/7, and make him have that prep phase just a little bit fucking longer instead of instantly being good.
Yeah, I agree, but that may have actually happened.
Has it?
They did an emergency nerf on Surge and Squeak, and they nerfed Surge twice, and that might have been one of them. I'm actually going to scroll back and see if I can find it because I know that they did something for this. So
No
Surge,
need, because I'm looking right now.
yeah, so it didn't technically change that, but um, I really don't understand what the second one means. Like slightly reduced his party trick super charge. Now it requires 3 main attacks after party trick hits the target. So I think they made it so the super charge when he's using that gadget is more, but that didn't change his actual, super charge as is. Or I mean, like it's harder to get when you're using that gadget, but still, it's not enough. That change definitely needs to happen. Um, and I'm very hopeful, I guess, that something like that will take place. Then again, there is the Squeak situation where Squeak's one of those brawlers that's always going to feel like like a dark horse. I think that's the saying.
Yeah.
Where it's just like nobody's looking at Squeak. That's why Squeak's always going to continue to get better because people don't actually know. Not only like it doesn't feel appealing to play Squeak to a lot of people. They're like, okay, I'm not intrigued by this character whatsoever. And then there's some that love Squeak to death because of the fact that not only is he really can be really fun to play and just a nuisance for the enemy team to actually deal with. But it's the fact that they just continue to keep buffing him because they don't know what to do with him. Or I guess Adrian doesn't know what to do with him, or maybe he does. And the fact that his play rates and win and lose rate is probably favoring the loss rate. Very like it might even be something like the loss rate on Squeak when they pull it all together is something stupid like 65% plus is how compared to like 35% wins. That's because people don't know how to play him. And it's going to be one of those brawlers that continue to go like that probably till the end, where people just don't ever know how to play him perfectly. And obviously, in the hands of a more seasoned player like us, or just a bunch of people that are listening to this right now, you're like, okay, like that's kind of a problem that he can deal that kind of damage that fast. Both of his gadgets are not really good. The slow gadget's obviously way better, but having double damage like Frank on his I don't know if it's double damage, but a lot on his first gadget now, especially since you can snipe it at long range. I'm still going to use that. I play shit that I like, and I really like being able to like throw something like that fucking far. It feels so fucking fun to me. And especially now that it feels more rewarding and it does double damage, pair that with his chain link star power and you got a really big threat. But Squeak got emergency nerfed and they changed his second gadget to cut the slow time in half to 10 seconds of this pool on the ground. But there's also the issue that when you get slowed or you're around the area, the circle isn't the only thing slowing you. It's like the circle and like one tile, like even 1.5 tiles over, it feels like. When you're exiting the slow thing, it can still slow you. Like it's really uncomfortable how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like
that's all I gotta say about
residue,
that.
like it's like residue outside of the circle, and like you're leaving it, like I'm clearly out of it, but it lingers. I don't think that's okay. It makes the circle like bigger than it should be. But yeah, Squeak is. I think they need. It's going in the right place. I think the Squeak before did need a buff because obviously the gadgets were shit. But I think he just needed good gadgets that aren't overpowered. I think the second, or like the one that increases the damage is fine. The slow one is. I think you're a pussy if you use that. Um, but I think Squeak is now going, into a much better position. And I don't think you can have more success if you're less skilled with Squeak now. That's it.
Yeah.
I will say that Adrian was unusually quick with the emergency nerfs. Usually it takes him a whole month or more, but he was on
Yeah,
this one in like a week.
yeah. I don't know why he didn't do that with Eve. It's
I
kind of crazy.
wonder why.
Yeah. It's like
So
ulterior motive.
there are a lot more than I actually remember because some of them don't feel like they changed much. But
Oh,
I've
okay.
just had I had one of our listeners, Homesteader, shout me out real quick, DM me, and he sent me the list. So we did address a lot of them, but there are some that we didn't even like remember. I don't even think we would have been getting to them. But I will start with the spike gadget for cactus, or damn it, the cactus gadget for spike. Fucking check the fuck out. Uh, and
New
that shit,
character cactus.
it might as well be like it's the same shit. It's still correct. Okay, like when you think about it. But they cut his health in half, the spawnable, and that definitely made a big difference. He's completely balanced now, in my opinion. I don't think it needs to change anymore. I am, however, quite salty that I don't know when they did this, but I know how Spike, his first star power or his second star power synergizes with his first gadget, where if you use the gadget with curveball, you're able to curve the spikes that come out of Spike, and it does a lot more damage. It's a lot easier to hit, although that gadget's not really used, but it is good on stationary targets like ice safe. But his first star power used to synergize with his second gadget, whereas if you had the spike spawnable, the cactus thing, in the super of your like fertilizer, it would actually
It would
heal
heal.
it,
Yeah,
but they
that's
took that
overpowered
away.
as fuck.
Uh, well, not if the spikes spawnable has half health now.
Oh,
Uh, like
ooh.
bring it back, please.
And then they
Uh,
could add the first thing, where Spike shoots like ba 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 all the spikes out of his body, I guess. If he has curveball, they could be curved. That's not overpowered, I don't think. That's
they are.
I
pretty valid.
never even knew that existed.
They
I
Yeah.
didn't
they
know that was a
removed it like
thing.
so fucking fast. I saw
Uh,
it though, like Brawl Talk.
yeah. Just really annoyed me that shit. Uh, the little
I was kind of mad because I unlocked that spike cactus gadget the day before on my mini account.
oh, that's terrible.
It was terrible.
But yeah, that's definitely a fair balance change. It's one we don't have to give much thought to because it was literally straight up nerfed it by 50%. Uh, but then there is Gale, whose stun duration from his super, um, they cut that from because they previously buffed it. It used to be a second, and then they buffed it to a second and a half or a second and 75 or something. I don't exactly know what it was. I think it was, yeah, it was a second and a half. Then they brought it down to a second and 25, where or a second and a quarter. But it feels like it still is unfair in a way. But it definitely made it a lot easier to deal with because it's not like confirmed kills when you're versing a Gale now or playing as a Gale. And that could be very annoying because Gale, I will forever say, needs so many nerfs, but they will just continue to not. He will continue to not look at it or look at him in any way. But um, they nerfed his stun by a little bit, by like what, like 20% or something, and it feels like it's a lot less viable, but it's still very good. And I don't know what to do with that. Like they might have to bring it down to like 1.15 because 1.25 might still be too much. But one is not enough. People weren't using that. Uh, so I don't know if he's exactly where he's going to end up. I think this would be okay keeping it as is if they nerf Gale as himself a bunch of times, which I still think they need to. But that's what happened with that. I don't know. You guys can say some shit.
I think that Gale is. I know I say this a lot, but I think we need to talk about Gale in like its own podcast because Gale is he's so fucking odd. His place in Brawl Stars, he never seems too good enough to be like meta in traditional games. Oh, but a new game mode comes out, and guess what? Gale is fucking must pick meta fucking Knight Warlord. You cannot win if you don't have a Gale.
Yo,
And that
yo,
was adamant in the
right
new.
now, right now, I'm calling it. We're calling it. The next podcast we do will be about the new game modes, and then Gale will be brought up quite a lot.
Yes,
Not just the new game modes, but the ones they have previously tried to add.
yes,
Uh,
and half of that will be about Gale and how he is just in
save it,
every
save it,
single
save
way
it, save
just
it, save it.
busted. Like he's
Just save it.
broken, not in the traditional sense. He's broken that he doesn't work in the game, and he needs a fucking way out. He needs to get fixed. He needs to fix it. Felix from Wreck-It Ralph to come in and fucking hammer that ass.
Yeah,
No homo.
exactly. Uh, yeah, you got any feelings about that, C Smoke?
Gale is just like he's just a go-to pick if you need just a consistent brawler because you can consistently have that slow if you pick that star power. You can consistently have the stun if you pick that one. He's pretty consistent damage all the time, and it's not like his super is hard to charge up. Like he's always just gonna be a threat.
Yeah, and it's just they're just too soy to touch them. They won't do it, and I really don't like that because well, I'll give all my thoughts next week because I've been telling people for months like Gale is like the bro, like he's top five and he's been top five for months, and nobody understands that Gale is so fucking good.
I don't think he's top five. He's fun to
You
play.
don't
I
you
like
don't
him.
play the game right now, bro. I'm telling
Oh, but
you.
I don't care. I've been playing the game, and if you're saying Gale has been broken for so long, I've been playing for so long, and Gale isn't top five. But we
All
can
right,
talk about that when we talk
we
about that.
will. I'll make
I
sure.
would say he is.
You would
He's
say he
definitely top
is.
five. Yes.
I want Goofy there next podcast, and he'll agree with me, and it'll be me and him against you two brain dead fucking uh
Call us
Amoebas.
what you will. Your words don't mean shit. All right, we speak. Gale could be fifth. Okay, he could be fifth on the dot, but he's in top five. And I don't know where he is, but he's there, and he is. Yeah, fuck that. We save it. Okay, clearly we have some fucking opinions about Gale, so we know what we're doing.
Retarded opinions, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, shut up. So, Jesus Christ. Otherwise, um, the other ones that feel like, oh, I want to just straight up say that the bone buff, that one was very noticeable. Um,
Bone?
yeah, bow.
Bow.
Oh,
Okay.
you can tell that his projectile speed has increased, even though it's only 7% or only. It feels like it's like 20%. Like that shit is fast as hell, especially when it's like the really thin shot where you're moving from, I think right to left. I don't know the exact way to do that, but I can play one game and I can give you the answer because then it's also a different pattern when you move right to left. But whatever the really really thin one is, it's like it's a lot of damage, and you can hit all three of his arrows really quick, and like actually accurately instead of hitting like one or just two. You can hit all three of them a lot easier now. And yeah, I think it's great. I think Bo has found a comfortable place where he is. Um, and he's always going to be one of those brawlers that, as a base, he's all right. Previous to this whole buff, but it was always his gadgets and his star powers that made him stand out. Like you have to pick the right ones. You have to always be like wary of what you're playing, and it can change the entire play style of an entire team. Uh, and just O's an interesting brawler because he doesn't feel like he's a support brawler, but all of his gadgets and star powers make him a support brawler.
Yeah.
Um, but that I think it was a good buff, definitely needed. That's just
Yeah,
me.
I was watching the monthly finals a couple weeks ago, and Bo was everywhere. Every team was picking it.
Yeah, so maybe a slight nerf, but I think that they're testing the waters with him after bashing his gadgets and reworking his gadgets and star powers all the time. I think they finally, you know, they're happy with what that is. So now they're going to try and tweak him. And I believe that they said that they were planning on tweaking Bo more. Uh, I think that was the one out of the entire list where they're like, yeah, we have more things for Bo coming.
That's
Uh,
good.
so
When I play Bo, like new Bo, his shot feels like great. Like I feel like I can just like I've been playing him for like I've mastered Bo. Like what Bo masters were like 2 years, a year ago before this change. I feel like that. Like I'm a fucking ninja with Bo. It's just it feels right. It feels extremely right, and I like Bo. But the only problem with Bo is that he doesn't get like he's so fucking niche in his fucking things. He just needs to be more general, right? He's an area control denier, a support. He's all over the fucking place. Damage dealer, even. Uh, like whatever the fucking the one where you blow up your own fucking mines, the gadget. That's fucking
yeah.
useless. They
Oh
need to
no
change that.
no! I love it.
What do you mean? No, no, no.
Bro, it's so good for Brawl Ball when you just like you got a super, you can confirm breaking a fuck ton of walls. Even you don't even have to have them step on it to do it. You put those down, like the enemy team knows, like, oh well shit, the walls are gone. Uh and it's a lot of walls too. And especially since if they don't notice you do it too, they step on it, you're not only damaging them, but and you're stunning them potentially if you're using the second star power. Uh it's so good for stunning people too. Like they don't know it's coming, and it also stalls it where you press it and they can walk over the area for 2 seconds without it actually detonating. And it's very good for people that are trying to uh, like tripwire them or whatever to set them off. The gadget is called tripwire. That's why I was hesitant on what to say. But for people that are trying to set them off, like they know that it's in that area, but you're hiding in a bush. They can't see that you activated it, and they're like, going in and out and in and out, and then they go in a little more. They're like, it's not here. Where is it? And then they get stunned and take the whole hit, and then you can ambush them.
Your
Uh,
opinion, straight fucking trash.
yeah, that's what you
It
say.
needs a rework. It needs a rework. It needs to be better. I'm sick about talking about Bo. We
Okay,
need to get.
no matter what you
Yes.
say, a guaranteed wall break is always going to be good in Brawl Ball.
Yeah.
I think you guys think Bo is top 5 as well, huh?
No,
Okay, good.
I haven't played Bo in a long time. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I should start playing him again though. Maybe I will after the podcast.
no. The only reason why Bo will never be top five is because he will always struggle with walls. He can get rid of them now, but it's just like his shot, the way it shoots. Uh, it's not really ideal for him to be in a situation where he's running in circles around a wall trying to kill someone. Uh, like he has to stay away from those situations, and if a brawler can't perform when it's like desperately needed to kill somebody or to save yourself from being killed, they'll never be top five. But that's pretty much it for Bo. It's just one thing, but there was an entire rework to Lou that doesn't seem to get discussed whatsoever because of
Mhm.
how unplayed Lou is. Uh, Now I'm going to be the first to say this for some reason, but first of all, they didn't need to do any of these things. All they needed to do was they could tweak his damage and such to make this work, but all they needed to do was make Lou shoot a fourth ice cream cone. Uh, and it could still be the same exact shot output as what it is with three. Like it wouldn't change anything, but it would just be it would make him a lot better because Eve is just the better Lou in every way. Like just shooting three, and all the area control and everything she has. Lou is just never a pick. Where you could if you could be Eve, then why would you be Lou? Uh, and it's so hard to freeze people, but that fourth ice cream cone could really pack like a punch to getting somebody frozen. Uh, that's my opinion. That would make Lou debatably meta, but even then, it's a lot of skill with Lou too. But the buffs to him, they made it so that his super cool star power, I believe. Um, no, they made it so that
Without the super cool, when you're in his little skating ring, you automatically get cold.
yeah, and so it's a base ability now, but at 90% effectiveness. So not the full 100. Don't really know why, but uh you can now just if you're in it no matter what star power you have you're getting progressively
Wait. So what's the first one then?
they tweaked it so the first one it increases the freezing speed like you're getting frozen way faster uh
Like it's filling in the 10%, so it's 100%.
yeah, that's where the math gets really odd because it says 33% uh
Okay.
so not really
But
sure.
it's only a net gain of 20% from the old star
Yeah, so
power,
it doesn't
which doesn't
feel like
really make sense.
it's still it doesn't feel right like I like that it's a base thing now I guess but it doesn't feel like the first star power is really a pick. Like it's in a situation where Mortis was with his not the creepy
Holy
harvest
snake.
one, the other one, the recoiling snake, where it was just like when they made it a base ability, it's just like, well, why would you use this? Like you get it a little bit faster, but who cares? Like why would you not just use creepy harvest? It's gonna give you way more
Yeah,
value.
yeah,
Uh,
the recoiling snake. But what about the hypothermia? That's
oh,
where shit gets wild.
hypothermia was my like one of my favorite star powers, but the problem was is that you could never really tell. It's the same with like Bell's second star power. You don't know exactly how their ammo's charging. You really can't tell, but it just feels like it's working, but you can never be too confident. And those two star powers are in a very odd situation because of that. But I'm glad that Luz was dug out of it because they now changed it. Well, it's technically still the same, but yeah, at least it's a lot. You can see the numbers this time. Because they now changed it where it doesn't make it so they can't charge their ammo faster or like make it slower for their ammo recharge, but they made it so that the damage they deal, depending on how progressively frozen they are, is less damage the more frozen they are. Uh, which that you can see that working in real time. Like you're using that on a fucking bull, for example. He's in close quarters with you, and you're noticing that he is not doing that 3,000 damage. He's doing like 2,100 or something, for example. Uh, like it really can help him, especially paired with like a shield in it for that specific example. Like that bull's desperately trying to kill you, and he's uh, spamming all his ammo, and then you use the shield, and he's got nothing left at that point, and like you just keep freezing him and getting him more and more frozen, and like he's not doing much damage to you anymore. Let alone the time that you have to escape. But um, it's definitely a lot better than hypothermia was. I can say that. I don't know if you guys feel any type of way about it.
No, I don't. I don't play
Nah.
Lou. I don't really like him.
You don't
Yeah.
like Lou?
No.
Okay, Lou is like the one brawler out of all the Brawl Pass brawlers that didn't feel like a Brawl Pass brawler. Like it was just like he's just came into the game underwhelming, and I like the idea of it. I was very excited when I saw it. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool, like to be able to freeze people. But then when it really came to it and like the whole Lou surge ended, I know I'm gonna say surge even though like he was like 2 Brawl Passes before him, but when the surge of Lou being everywhere ended, it was like no one's using Lou anymore. So it kind of just stayed that way, and they've tried to tweak him a bit, with his whole second star power and second gadget being released afterwards, but he still never made a resurgence into any meta whatsoever, and I still don't think this will make him meta. I think it'll help a little bit, but he still hasn't found his place.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I think that the fourth ice cone or whatever the fuck would actually really help him. The damage, the freeze aspect, the more pressure, just fucking in general, he needs that. So does Penny, but we can have another podcast about that.
Yeah, we'll get
True.
any. Yeah, so that's what's up with Lou, and there I
Okay, no,
believe.
shut the fuck up, Buzzy. Okay, because
Oh my goodness.
we're talking about Buzz. Okay, we're talking about Buzz and his supposed second gadget. We think we know it at
Hey,
KTB.
hold on.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa!
we got we got two more on this list. If you want to skip them, we can. It's just Griff and then
God
the.
damn it! Okay, fine. It's gonna be. I have
Uh,
a
Didn't
feeling.
didn't we already talk about Griff?
we did, but he actually did get changed. We just didn't bring up what it was. It was just we could do these quick and then get to it because it's some pressing news. What do they call it? Like something something. Read all about it.
Extra,
Um,
extra.
extra, read all about it. That's what we got at KTP. So Griff, it was kind of like just a fix. They made his first star power. They decreased the speed of it, but then increased his base unload speed, which kind of just evened it out. Uh, so it didn't feel like much change. It's definitely noticeable a little bit, but not really. And then his second star power, they increased the healing that he gets progressively over time from 10% to 15%. Now, that one I noticed because I made that star power. I didn't think I was going to when Griff came out. I was like, there's no way I'm using that. But I got that one first, and it took me so long to get the first star power. But that by the time I got it, I was so obsessed with the idea that when you use the second star power, Crow's poison cannot kill you no matter what. So I loved that because I hate Crow. And then like it's a nice buff to it. It's nothing that's gonna break Griff either of these changes to him, but it's just Griff as a base, which we talked about, is a problem. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You just do it quick.
I'd never used his healing star power, so I didn't notice a difference at all.
I don't
I
blame.
just had wait. I had Alzheimer's moment. Who the fuck are we talking about?
All right. Anyway, so the next gadget, or the not gadget, the last change on this list was the gear getting switched from
I
resistance.
still don't know who we were talking about.
That's perfectly fine. You can go rewatch it. But
Anyway.
the last gear that was switched, which we could have an entire thing about the state of gears, and we could pull a whole Kairos and give a whole video about it, except obviously do it better. But um, the vision gear or the resistance gear was changed into the vision gear, which vision gear and resistance gear have never felt like they were actually gears. They're both just not really that good to ever use. But the vision gear definitely has its uses. Probably more than the resistance gear had, because the resistance gear was like entirely like matchup dependent, whereas the vision gear is not only okay. Well, resistance gear was brawler dependent. It goes without saying that both of these are brawler dependent on which one you put them on. But the vision gear, if there's grass on the map, depending on how much map or grass there actually is worth it. So it's map dependent, but it's definitely going to get used a lot more than it being matchup dependent with resistance. And I there's not much to it. You can see the person in the grass for maybe another 2 seconds, and it does help. It has its uses with maybe a small, minuscule amount of brawlers, but it still doesn't scream gear. You probably shouldn't use it over using the base, like, damage, shield, and speed gears. You should probably cycle through those before touching health is pretty okay now, but touching health and the vision gear. So there's not much to say about that. I do, however, despise how they did it, that they didn't just give you all the gear scrap back and let you choose to like get it back, because I had max resistance on Buzz and now I have max vision on Buzz. Why the fuck would I ever use max vision? Okay.
They fucked you so bad.
It was just completely
Yeah,
unfair. Like, at least resistance might have helped me in a situation where I'm slowed because Buzz has no range, but vision, why the fuck would that ever help me?
yeah, Buzz can already see the bushes, and also if you're close enough to even hit someone, you're gonna be able to see them.
Yeah, it's just really stupid. Like, I do not like that they did that. I think there should be features in the game where you can, sell gears back for maybe even like 25%. I'll be okay with that. Also sell skins back for like 25% too, but they'll never do that. Like, I have so many skins I just don't care for. But if you guys are good on this shit, the vision gear, unless you got something to say, we can move on to the extra.
Yeah, I think I just speak for everyone when I say they
Move,
did.
move on.
Yeah.
Okay, see smoke. Okay,
Hold on. I
my
want to
words
say
don't mean anything.
it's not for sure. This is not for sure happening. But it's definitely worth talking about. Krong, you lead into it.
Okay, so we all know last update we got gadgets. We got 6 gadgets, and they, some of them are really good, some of them, not so much, and Jackie's. But we got 6. We didn't get 8, and 8 is what we needed. And who did we need them for? We needed them for Buzz, and we needed them for Griff.
And they were
Now,
together in the same update.
yeah, and I'm sorry, Griff. We don't got anything for you, not yet. Stay tuned. Next Brawl Talk. KTB podcasts will definitely have something. I promise. For Griff, but this time we have Buzz. We have Buzz's new gadget, allegedly, from a inside source, exclusive, extra, and it's a fucking good one. And I think none other than Buzzy Boy Buzzin should mention it.
Yeah, that's. Thank you for giving me the honors.
You're
Adrian
welcome.
should ask for my permission before he speaks on this, anyways. But so Buzz, his first gadget is obviously it helps him a lot with transportation and to get him out of some sticky situations. And if everybody who's in our Discord server right now and is obviously joining our Discord server after listening to this podcast or blah blah blah, go to clips and highlights in the orange category and look at the fucking clip that I sent there on what day is it? May 16th, a couple hours ago, like fucking, I don't know, 3 p.m. or something. Definitely worth looking at. It shows you how Buzz can actually be used like Tarzan, but that's what makes him really interesting to me. But however, I would be willing to sacrifice that entire mobility for his potential second gadget, which is his next shot. So this is a shot, not his super, nothing to do with that. His next shot has a charge up, and if you charge, it's like a wind up toy. You charge that shit up, you let it go, and it does like potentially double damage on his attack. Probably not double damage, but definitely a percentile more damage than he does right now. So you just charge that shit up for a couple seconds, especially if you're like ambushing somebody. They don't see it coming, or they're running at you head on, and you just charge it up. They're not only going to start backing up probably, but if they don't, they're getting hit by the full force of that attack. And you can't charge it up when you're using your super because it wouldn't really make any sense because you would be supering to them. That would cut the whole charge in general. But you can charge it up just as his base, and it deals extra damage. And I really hope they make it like a different color what he's shooting out. Danger, make it like red or something crazy. That attack's gonna like make it purple actually. Like that attack's doing some fucking plasmic damage. Like, you don't want to get hit by that. And I don't know how I feel about this, but I do know that I would use it quite a fucking lot, and I would definitely be the best at it. But that's the potential for the Buzz gadget. Apparently, they've tried so many ideas with him; they're burnt out because everything they add to him is either worthless or game breaking. That's why they just couldn't give him one yet. But apparently, there's a timestamp 2 months from now. Buzz Gadget. If on schedule, will be released, and it could be earlier too if they're ahead of schedule. But yeah, Sea Smoke. This is the first time you've heard about this. Krong and I actually got to talk about it last night, so I want to hear what you got to think.
Well, I don't play much Buzz, but when I do, I do have a pretty good time playing Buzz. I don't really utilize his gadget much, but it is useful for some situations. And I mean, I was looking at your clips and the highlights, and that's just crazy. Like just taking the brawl ball all the way up the map and scoring easily. Like that's crazy. But I don't think I could do that. I'm not that good at Buzz. But anyway, this new gadget is just like that just seems very, very skillful to use, and if you use it right, it can be very good.
Yeah.
And it could be also easy to avoid, but like if you're not out of the way in time and the person catches you by surprise, then you're done for.
Yeah, and I don't know how it would work. I think it would be something where like you charge it and then you just hold onto the screen. You don't let go. It's not like something where you charge it for a second and then it just blows right then and there. I think you charge it and you hold it. So you could just hold it, be progressively walking off the map, and maybe they have it so Buzz is like there's like smoke coming off him, like he's fucking shaking, fucking vibrating. You're like, holy fuck! Like if this Buzz gets anywhere fucking close to me, like I'm doomed. And you're just progressively moving forward, still charging your super and shit. They're terrified of you. I love the whole stalking play style of Buzz. It's so fucking rewarding when you're able to kill people, or just make them like misplay so much because they're terrified of you. I love everything about him, and that gadget, that potential extra gadget, would definitely in the hands of me be very game breaking. Um, so I'm excited to see what that holds. But Kron, what you think?
Um, so I'm really excited to see this gadget uh get to get use out of the best Buzz players in the world.
Shut the
Um,
fuck up, bro. Why you say that to me? Don't say that in my
I
presence.
have yet to meet them, but when I see them on YouTube or Twitch or something, I'll definitely tune in. Can't wait to see how it's used. Nah, but I really like this gadget because I don't like the other gadget. Um, it has its uses obviously, and I'm definitely not no Buzz aficionado, but I don't like the fact that when you use it, all your supercharge gets turned into mush and is replaced by a subpar super basically. And I just never really like that. I like stunning people and actually using the full effect of the super. So I think this is gonna work well. Definitely ambushing. And Adrian also mentioned, right, that it's probably not going to be used with a stun.
Yeah, because you'd have to charge it as his attack. So I guess if you were to like super, that would break the charge.
Yeah. So it'd probably just be ambushing and chasing, and maybe like right after you pull. I don't know. That's gonna have to be for the Buzz experts to decide on. Uh, but I
Fucking
also haven't looked at this clip, and I know that a lot of people watching are probably not even going to do the necessary steps to watch this amazing clip. So we're gonna do a little experiment. I'm gonna watch it right now and commentate. Okay, are you okay with
yeah.
that, guys?
Okay, you got to go to clips and highlight in
I'm
the
looking
orange
at it right
color.
now. I got
I
the
know, but
screen.
these people got to watch along. Okay, they got to get there and see it too. We got to have like a fucking 3, 2, 1 press. Fucking. But these motherfuckers got to get on there, and I need Kronk's full commentary. Uh, don't waste anything. Okay, are you ready?
Wait. So we have to wait for the people to click on the clip.
Yeah, we need people to come here. And I know everybody listening to this live anywhere else, or I'm very sorry. Okay, you could be in the Discord so we can engage with you guys when you want to watch this live. Because as you guys may not know, if it's the first time viewing or whatever, we record this a day in advance and then post it, 24 hours later. So this is, I guess, viewer specific to who's watching it live. But go to clips and highlights in the Discord server. We have now changed the template so it is in orange. And go there, and I sent a clip at 2:09 p.m. EST, and it is very highly rated. Okay, and
It has
just
3 likes.
just it's been upvoted 3 times. Just watch the clip. All right, Chrome, just do it. Ready?
Okay, so y'all ready? Okay, I'm pressing play. So Buzzy has the ball. The Fang, or no, the Fang supered everyone, getting the Savage Spike. Savage Spike is dead. Buzzy goes to the wall. Does this? He's using his gadget to get on the wall. He's facing with a Mortis, Tara, and a Fang. He uses the thing one more time. They don't have any ammo. I don't know why the Tara didn't get put you out of your fucking misery, but you fucking did it with the 1700 health. It looks like, and you got the fucking goal. What the fuck?
Yeah, if you see in the clip, she had 0 ammo. She was spamming it while I was in the corner. Uh,
That's oh my god. That she would have
that,
killed you if she had one more.
yeah, that's the clip you put on YouTube right there. I'll get that out to some fucking Brawl Stars connoisseurs and they can fucking commentate over that. But that's how you play him like Tarzan. That's how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, I don't doubt that when you're fucking doing that, you're like,
Yeah,
like
I
shit.
was. I was making it very known, like my neighbors could hear me. And I've been doing that since his release. It's just people don't do that. People don't know you can do that. Uh, and it's definitely worth it. I had somebody bash me yesterday for saying don't use Buzz's normal super for transportation. I told him to fuck himself. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, yes, there's some times where like you butcher it. It's like fuck, like you don't have a super anymore. Like you invested a lot into that potential play and it's gone. But like, no, you use that shit to transport, even if it's like 5 tiles in some situations. That's the play to make, especially when you know you can get your super back or do shit like that. Um, Either or, I'm glad that we ended on a high note because that shit was definitely orgasmic. But
Pretty
you
hype.
know, all the viewers who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, I'm just telling you, May 16th, 2:09 p.m. Clips and Highlight channel. That's where you want to go. Um, Either or, we're done with this bitch. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I'll give these two gentlemen co-hosts the honor of giving me last words, but I am done speaking.
You go see Smoke.
Yeah, some pretty interesting balance changes. Vision gear, not it. It could get better. It's definitely more easy to balance than whatever the resistance gear was. That was just terrible. And yeah, I mean, pay to win on purpose. That's crazy. Not okay. Adrian, you need some help,
Yeah,
and that's it.
Adrian should be ashamed of himself. And but this Adrian talk has opened my eyes to a new world, especially that clip. I think I'm gonna quit the KTB podcast and become a commentator. Uh, as you can see, my commentating is just next level. So I think I'm just gonna go, host the next Queso Cup or some shit. Um, but in all seriousness, it's been a very nice podcast, and stay tuned for the next podcast because that shit's gonna be wild. We're gonna be talking about Gale. It's gonna be me, Goofy, versus Buzzy and Sea Smoke, and I still can't fucking get over my top five is not it. Okay, like I know we're
I
doing this next podcast, but
I said I wasn't going to talk, but I got to end it. This week's going to go off the fucking rails. Thank you all for listening. It's very appreciated. Love you all. Goodbye.